Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So today I want to talk to you about something that I think is so important at the moment, at this stage of our lockdown experience. It's day 7, we're 1 week in, and the topic today is toxic positivity. And that's the concept that being positive all the time, aiming to be positive all the time, can actually be toxic or damaging to ourselves, okay? So today we are going to explore and talk about the dark side of good vibes only. Is it helpful to try and feel good vibes only all the time? Is it sustainable? Is this approach serving you well and making you feel good? That's what we're going to explore today, okay? So toxic positivity is the excessive overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state across all situations. And it's damaging, it's unattainable, it's unrealistic. It's damaging because it results in denial and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. It's not authentic because we're not designed to be positive all the time. Toxic positivity is where you feel like you need to feel good all the time, where you aim to feel good all the time, where you believe you should feel good all the time. You feel like you can't or you shouldn't have bad or negative feelings, okay? You should only feel the good stuff. You shouldn't feel any of the tough stuff. Of course, we can be a victim of our own toxic positivity, okay? Think about your current outlook. Are you forcing toxic positivity on yourself during this pandemic? Have you given yourself time to sit with your grief and uneasiness over how our lives have changed? Or do you push those thoughts away as quickly as possible so you can focus on staying positive and grateful for what you do have? Obviously, there's absolutely nothing wrong with counting your blessings and being grateful during such a dark time, but you can do so whilst also acknowledging your uneasiness. Toxic positivity can also show up or look like hiding and masking your true feelings, trying to just get on with it by dismissing an emotion, feeling guilty for feeling what you feel. Okay, it can also show up as minimizing other people's experiences with sort of feel good statements, okay? Minimizing your own feelings by reading those statements. Things like good vibes only, always look on the bright side, everything happens for a reason, think happy thoughts always, stay positive always. It can also show up as invalidating emotional experiences with phrases like, it could be worse. It can also show up as chastising others for expressing frustration or anything other than positivity. Okay, it might show up as brushing things off that are bothering you with it is what it is, or it could be worse. Okay, this is all toxic positivity. It's toxic to try and be positive all the time and not to allow yourself to feel the tougher stuff. Okay, life is full of ups and downs, and let's be real, there are a lot of downs at the moment, okay? The news cycle is a constant reminder of the havoc and damage the coronavirus pandemic is causing. We've got health concerns, we've got frustration, we've got loneliness, we've got strained relationships, overwhelm, and layered on top of that, there's financial uncertainty, and it's all having a widespread impact on our mental health. So it's tough right now, and it's inevitable that we aren't going to be able to feel positive all the time through this. I want to say that, of course, there's nothing inherently wrong with positivity. Of course, it's a force for good and it helps motivate you and lift your mood. And I'm a massive fan of tools to help give you a positive mindset. It's kind of what this program's all about. But I think it's also equally important for us to appreciate at the moment and be mindful and really just be aware and acknowledge that positivity can also be harmful when it's the only way. okay? So in this case, it's not healthy positivity, it's toxic. So it's really important to remove the expectation and goal of feeling positive all the time. Instead, accept whatever genuine feelings come up for you. A lot of us also have the pressure to come across as though we are living our best lives and we are happy and positive all the time. And I'm not saying everyone who says they are happy is actually not, or people who try and push positive vibes onto you don't have your best interests at heart. But what I'm saying is covering up your true feelings with layers of, I guess, fake happiness when you don't feel happy at that moment is really not it, okay? It's not good. Toxic positivity is the culture of portraying yourself as being happy no matter what. You're basically kind of switching yourself off to anything which might be viewed as negative. It's also the idea of always encouraging people to see the bright side and not opening up about anything bad. It's draining because it doesn't allow you to process your feelings properly. And if you don't process your feelings, if you push them down, if you try and ignore them or numb them, they still affect you. People say good vibes only or let it go, and I think that's fine. And of course, having a positive mindset is really important, okay? It's key for your overall health and well-being, but not if you take the approach to mean you can only feel good all the time, okay? That the tough stuff is somehow not okay. All feelings are valid. It's not good vibes only, okay? We aren't happy and positive and motivated and inspired all the time, and nor should we be. We are human. We aren't mindful bots. So I don't think we should say good vibes only or just let it go. I think we need to be with those tougher feelings, the fear, anxiety, frustration, the really tough ones like anger, resentment, and jealousy. We need to really be with the tough situations, not just let them go, okay? Not try and mask them by thinking good vibes only. We need to be with those emotions. We need to deal with them, process them, heal from them, learn from them, and then when we're ready, let it go, okay? When we're ready, welcome the positive vibes back again. But pushing aside tough feelings or taking the approach of burying your head in the sand when it comes to tough situations just isn't going to help your long-term health, happiness, energy, or mood, okay? I think toxic positivity is a real mood hoover. So today is basically just a little reminder that you don't have to feel good all the time. I think we should let go of the phrase good vibes only, and it should be all vibes welcome, okay? I think now more so than ever it's really damaging to push the tough stuff down and not to feel all of our feelings. So give yourself permission to feel what you feel right now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Acknowledge all your feelings. Try not to suppress them or push them down or mask the intense, more powerful, challenging feelings, okay? We don't have to portray that we are okay all the time, okay? Instead of ignoring the more challenging feelings, suppressing them, masking them, or feeling bad for having them, lean into them, acknowledge them, sit with them for a little bit if you can. Let them have a voice, okay? And then release them so you don't have to become them, because you are not your feelings, okay? Accept your feelings for what they are, yes. Give yourself permission to feel all the feels, yes. And then recognize what you can do in the moment to be kind to yourself. Give yourself what you need to feel through the feelings, okay? You don't need to get rid of the feelings unless you feel them. You're not going to get rid of the feelings, unless you feel them. So feel them, remind yourself that you are not your thoughts, then lovingly tune into what you need in that moment, okay? So to recap, Toxic positivity is where you try and put a rosy filter on the tough time that you're having. You suppress tough feelings, you ignore them, or you push them aside. You feel pressure to focus only on the positive aspects of life. It's the belief that if we ignore difficult emotions and parts of our life that aren't working as well, we'll be much happier, okay? Don't rob yourself of the right to have bad days in the midst of this crisis. If you never let yourself feel any emotions besides happiness or gratitude and instantly shut down any so-called negative emotion, you aren't dealing with how you really feel. Okay, you can't deal with it unless you feel it, and you aren't addressing it. And that means you can't mindfully make a decision to give yourself what you really need in that moment. You're just gonna carry on and push through, and that's not gonna serve you well. So here are a few ways to help combat toxic positivity. Number one, the RAIN technique. Okay, it's an acronym. Okay, RAIN. R stands for recognize, so label it. Label your feeling, okay? You're acknowledging your feeling, okay? I'm feeling anxious right now, okay? Label your feeling. Then the A, allow it to exist. Don't try and numb it or push it away, fix it or judge it, okay? Reassure yourself it's okay. Okay, reassure yourself that the feeling belongs to the anxiety. The feeling belongs to what you're feeling, okay? The I is for investigate. Where do you feel it in your body? How does it feel to breathe with it a bit? Be with it and sit with your feeling just for a moment if you can. Feel it all. How does it show up for you? Then the N is for nurture. Nurture yourself with self-compassion, okay? Put a hand on your heart and send yourself some loving kindness. Say some kind words to yourself. So, anxiety, I see you. Thank you for trying to protect me. This is energy and motion passing through me. I'm not my feelings and my emotions. And then give yourself what you need in that moment, okay? What one thing could you do for yourself today to help? Exercise, walk in the fresh air, mindful meditation, a phone call with a loved one. Okay, so RAIN. Number two, give yourself permission to have both negative and positive emotions, okay? You can fight toxic positivity by acknowledging or recognizing that multiple complex emotions can exist in you all at once, okay? So remind yourself that you're capable of holding multiple perspectives about uncertain or troubling situations, even when you're in the thick of it, okay? So lean into the positive and also appreciate the negative. Be realistic, okay? Practice gratitude for what you have, but also be honest and express what is bothering you, okay? Like missed celebrations or worries about the future, okay? You can be grateful to have a roof over your head and perhaps dislike the job that's continuing to pay you in order to afford that roof. You can be devastated at the loss of life from COVID, but still enjoy the slower pace of life that perhaps it's offered you. My favourite tool for appreciating and balancing these sort of conflicting emotions and viewpoints that we're likely to be feeling during the current situation, and actually at any given point really, is an old strategy called yes and. So for instance, I'm so tired of being stuck inside with my family. Yes, so you're acknowledging it's tough, and add in what you're grateful for. So I'm so tired of being stuck inside with my family. Yes, and I'm grateful that I'm not alone. Or I'm afraid of what the future holds. Yes, and I feel some excitement to a little bit of hope that some things might change for the better. Okay? Tip number 3 is take a deep look at your emotions and feelings through journaling, okay? Journal before bed or anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, because our brains can hold on to many, many short-term thoughts at once, okay? They hold on to them in case we need them at a moment's notice, and this means that When we're thinking about our fears or our anxieties, our brain codes them as important and keeps them at the forefront. Okay, so by writing down those worries, fears, frustrations, and anxieties, even if we can't do anything about them at the moment, we've told our brains it's okay to let them go. Okay, they're being taken care of. So tip 3 is to take pen to paper and pour out whatever your mind is feeling onto the page. Give it a try and see if it helps you just feel a little bit lighter. Okay, tip number 4 is once you've acknowledged how you're feeling, make extra effort to take care of yourself. Okay, what's one small action you can take today to feel a little bit better? Okay, take a look at your self-care menu that we're creating together at the moment. Okay, what nourishing act of self-love will help you right now? Maybe it's sorting out your sleep hygiene so you can prioritize better sleep. Maybe it's sorting out your morning routine so you don't reach for your phone first thing in the morning and see something in the news or on social media that triggers you into a negative headspace. Maybe you need to move more, maybe you need to exercise a little. Okay, if you follow that advice, you're giving yourself agency. Okay, whereas toxic positivity would have us deny the psychology and the warning signs of distress that are trying to tell us to take care. Okay, so in times like these, we have to take extra care of ourselves. Toxic positivity kind of tells you to move on and ignore it. Take action, take small action. So over the coming weeks, there's going to be days where you feel grateful, productive, positive, and there's going to be days where you can see light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, but be flexible, okay, and be ready to feel that tough stuff too. It can coexist together. Don't shame yourself or anyone else for that matter about feeling frightened or overwhelmed or a bit down. Okay, expect times when you have difficulty coping with the uncertainty of this pandemic, or if you're struggling to sustain patience with loved ones. Okay, my hope is that all the emotion of the situation we're in and all these feelings it brings up might make way for real dialogue about bad days and weak moments, a bit more part of our day-to-day lives. Be positive when you can, but make room for days when you can't. Okay, and remember, positivity is great. Okay, what makes positivity toxic is when you dismiss other genuine emotions. Okay, it's when it's positive vibes only, or it's the best way to go or the only way to go that's problematic. Okay, you don't have to engage with toxic positivity. The bottom line is it'll be much kinder and healthier if we turned off the toxic positivity and made every range of emotions okay and even welcomed them. Okay, so no more good vibes only, good vibes welcome. I hope you've enjoyed today's coaching session. If you have any questions, as always, I'm here for you. Thanks so much for joining me today, and see you soon.